Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm here to talk about some of my favorite things. Last year I started a quarterly favorite series where I talked about my favorite things for that quarter in 10 different categories. The categories are reading, listening, watching, wearing, cooking, planning, pampering, organizing, doing, and loving. And I just like having that structure to help me think about all the things that I've been loving over the course of the quarter. And for me, quarterly is just a better consistency because sometimes I might think something is my favorite in a month and then 1 month later, it's not really my favorite. So these quarterly videos have really been working well for me and I hope that you have been enjoying them as well. But let's go ahead and jump right in. These are my favorites from the last 3 months. I almost called it winter favorites because it's basically winter, December, January, and February, but none of them are really specific to the winter. So I'm just gonna call it my Q1 favorites, but really some of these things I have been loving since like November, December of last year. So starting with reading, I've been reading a lot, actually. I'm really proud of the reading pickup I've had so far this year, and I could go through a lot of the books. Let me know down in the comments if you want a whole separate video, maybe on book reviews. Maybe I could do like the first half of the year, review them, and then the second half of the year. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you would watch a standing book review video. Otherwise, I thought for the favorites videos, I would tell you my favorite fiction and my favorite nonfiction book that I have read in the last couple of months. So let's start with my favorite fiction book, which for the last couple of months was the book Queenie. And I actually bought this book like last August, whenever the Lazy Genius first went on sale, because Target was doing a sale where it was like buy two, get one free. And so I got the Lazy Genius, I got Queenie, and then I got another book, which I tried to read and couldn't really get into it. I haven't decided if I'm gonna move on from that book or not. But anyways, I am here to rave all about Queenie, which is a fiction book about a 20-something Black woman living in London. And it's basically just about her life and living in a big city and being a 20-something, the job, boyfriend, friends, and then all of the ins and outs of also being a Black woman. And I learned a lot about experiences that Black women have that white women don't. Obviously, I related a ton to the character just as I was a 20-something single woman living in a big city, but she had a lot of other nuanced experiences as a Black woman that just opened my eyes in a lot of ways. And so I feel like it's a really great book. The characters, you love the characters, her friends, her family. So if you're looking for a good fiction read, I highly recommend it. My favorite nonfiction book should come as no surprise if you follow me on any other social media platforms or watch my vlogs, and that is Profit First. If you own your own business, this book is a must read. My business has been making money for a few years now. Obviously, I've gotten an income from it, and I do my business taxes, and I have an LLC and all of those things. But because I have a full-time income that supports my life, I have never been all that concerned about the profit of my business or the owner's pay as part of my business. And I really just wanted to get a grasp on that this year to really fully understand what my business profit snapshot looks like. And that was my overarching yearly goal, is to build a profitable business. Those are the words I chose to describe my Plan with Laken goal for the year. And so I kicked off the new year with this book and I just could not put it down. And then I wanted to implement it all right away. And it was just the most helpful book I've ever read for my business, hands down. And I've talked with a lot of other friends that I have that also own their own businesses, and they said the same thing about the books, that it completely changed their business, like finance situation. So anyway, long story short, if you own your own business, this book is a must read. All right, the next category is listening, and I'm gonna talk both about podcasts and music this quarter because I've been listening to a lot of music and it has made me very happy. I don't have any specific like artists or songs to recommend to you. I have just been loving my playlists. So I have a bunch of playlists on Pandora. Really, I guess they're radio stations that I've been listening to, some of them for a decade probably, that I just absolutely love. And then I have a bunch of playlists on Spotify that I also love. Some of them I created, and then some of them other people created and I just saved to my list of playlists. That is such a great option. It takes a long time to curate a great playlist, and other people have already done it for you. So if there is something that you want to listen to, go find a pre-made great playlist on Spotify and just save it for your own. And by the way, I don't pay for premium on either of these platforms. I listen to the ads on both of them. On Spotify, it means I have to listen in shuffle order. I can't just listen to a playlist in the order that it's in, but that's okay. That's not something that I feel the need to pay for the premium on, unlike YouTube Premium, which to me is 100% worth it. But I don't know. Music has made such a difference in my mood the last couple of months. If you watch my March/February monthly goals video, I talked a lot about it in that video too. And then as far as podcasts go, I did add 2 new podcasts to my lineup this quarter, which I shouldn't have because I'm way behind on podcasts. The first one was actually recommended to me by one of you, and that is called Losing 100 Pounds with Corinne. And you don't need to be trying to lose 100 pounds to get value out of this podcast. Let me tell you that. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm not trying to lose 100 pounds, but she brings so much value. And what I love about her approach to weight loss is she talks a lot about mindset and how important mindset is when it comes to losing weight. And yes, it's calories in, calories out, but at the end of the day, you could do all the right things, but if you're not in the right mindset, it's not going to make a difference. And I love that. Heads up, she does swear. So if that is something that you don't enjoy, then I would not recommend this podcast, or I would recommend listening to it with headphones if you're going to be around little ears. The other podcast I've added to my lineup is actually a short one, so I think it's okay. And that is actually the Patreon specific podcast from Pantsuit Politics. I finally did it. I signed up to be a patron of Pantsuit Politics. I've been meaning to do it for a long time. And one of the things that they do that I love is a daily news brief. And she originally posted them all on Instagram. They were on IGTV, but they moved it over to Patreon to be a Patreon exclusive. And I was like, done. That is exactly what I needed to commit to signing up for their Patreon. So I listen to that every single day, and now it's in podcast form, even though I was kind of always listening to it on Instagram. Okay, the next category is watching, and this first one I watched a long time ago, but I keep a running list of my favorites in a spreadsheet so that I can always go jot things down when I think about it. So when I went to look at it today, I was like, oh, that's still, I did like that. And it's a TV show on Netflix called Pretty Little Things, and it is a ballet school. It's basically the combination of like Pretty Little Liars, and not just because of the name, but there's like, you know, a mystery to be solved. So it's like Pretty Little Liars meets like SVU meets like a ballet, center stage, the movie, something ballet related. I loved it. I mean, as a prior dancer, I just also love anything dance or ballet related, but it's got a lot of drama, a lot of great character development, a lot of mystery, and I mean, the whole thing, you're trying to figure out like, who did it? And so it's fun to always find out at the end who did it. So if you like those kind of mystery type shows and you still enjoy a nice like high school drama, then I recommend that show. The other show that I really love that finally came back is Snowpiercer. So I talked about this show. I may have included it in the favorites last year. I don't even remember. But season 1 came out last year, and then season 2 is now back and running. It is a futuristic, like apocalyptic show about a train. Everybody is living on a train because the world is too cold. Basically, global warming happened. A bunch of rich people trying to undo global warming by making it cold, and they made it too cold and uninhabitable. So people are living on this train that is circling the globe, and that's the last part of civilization. It has Daveed Diggs from Hamilton. I can't remember now the name of the lead actress, the lead woman, but it's fantastic. The cast is great. The plot is great. Do not watch the movie that this is based on. This is based on a movie that came out, I don't know, 15 years ago. We watched the movie. The movie is terrible. I don't recommend the movie. I recommend the TV show. All right, the next category is wearing, and I just don't feel like I have anything to share that's really clothes related here because I just have been wearing the same things. I've been wearing the same clothes for the last year, and it just feels like all the same. But one thing that I've actually been doing a good job of wearing the last quarter that I don't know if it's helped. My sleep has massively improved, but there's a lot of things that may be applicable to that, is my blue light blocking glasses. And I have been doing a good job of putting them on every day at 5 p.m. There's probably benefits to wearing them earlier in the day, but I read a book on sleep last year that really talked about blocking the blue light leading up to going to bed. So I make an effort to put them on at 5. I'll talk a little bit more about that routine later in the video, but I like my blue light glasses. I got Sam the same set from Amazon for Christmas and put them in his stocking, and I feel like you don't necessarily need to get an expensive pair, but I think that this could help with your sleep. Again, there could be other things that I think are helping with my sleep. I mean, my Hatch, which I talked about last quarter, is still a magic tool, and exercising I think makes a big impact on my sleep, I've noticed, but that's really the only new thing I've been wearing this quarter. Okay, the next category is cooking, and the thing I'm gonna talk about is a super simple, but for me, super delicious recipe. I almost wanna call it a dessert, but my nutrition coach really gave it to me as a snack, but I kind of treat it as a dessert, and it is a protein ball. Now, the concept of protein balls are not new. I get that. They've been around like on the internet, and most people make them some kind of nut butter, some kind of like oats. I've seen people put like chocolate chips in it, and I mean, I don't actually know what other people put theirs in, but the recipe that my nutrition coach gave me is much simpler, and I think it's delicious. So it is 1 whole jar of some sort of nut butter, and the one that she recommended a different brand versus just like normal peanut butter, so that it would have higher protein and it would have some sort of sweetness to it. So it is this brand called Nuts and More from Amazon, and I really like the salted caramel flavor. I've also tried the cookie butter, I think is what it's called, flavor, and I didn't really care for that one. I mean, I still made it and I still ate them all, but it wasn't my favorite. I went back to the salted caramel. I do want to try the other flavors, but I also like want to use something I know that I'm gonna like. When I tried the cookie butter and didn't like it, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna always order salted caramel because it's good. But the recipe is very simple. It's 1 whole jar of the peanut butter. It is 1 scoop of protein powder, and then I use a 1/4 cup of coconut flour. You might have to adjust the amount of flour that you use depending on the consistency of whatever nut butter you use, or the consistency of the protein powder that you use. But for the ingredients that I use, I put it all together, and then I roll them into little like 1-inch sized balls. And the recipe I make makes about 20 of them, but I will, depending on how many I end up making, I'll adjust it in my app, on my like food tracking app, just to make sure that everything is like on point. If I only make 19, I adjust it so that the calories and the protein are the correct amount. So, but it usually makes about 20, and then I just stick them in the fridge, and they are the perfect, for me, lunchtime dessert, because they're protein heavy, so they're going to keep me like full all the way through dinner. But to me, it tastes like the inside of a Reese's egg. Like, that's the consistency and what it tastes like to me. And that, if that sounds disgusting to you, then I wouldn't make these and I wouldn't try them. But for me, if the ones that I make turn out to be about like 140, 150 calories. They usually have about 10 grams of protein, and it lasts me throughout the afternoon. It hits my sweet tooth at the end of lunch. I'm like, I always need something sweet at the end of every meal, and they're just absolutely perfect. Sam likes them too, and I'm so glad that she gave me the recipe a long time ago. It took me a long time to actually make it. Then the first time I made it, I actually made it with just normal peanut butter and agave syrup to like add sweetness. And not only were the like macros really funky, like the calories were super high and the protein was lower, I didn't like them as much. Like, they didn't taste as good. And then when I started using this Nuts and More, so really I'm recommending the Nuts and More protein if you're not gonna make the protein bowls. It's amazing. Okay, the next category is planning. So this is my favorite planner item from the quarter, and also if you watch my other videos, this should be of no surprise to you, and that is my health and wellness planner. So I decided to get a Plum Paper A5 sized me layout planner with custom headers for health and wellness, and tracking my health and wellness in that separate planner has made such a difference for me. At the end of the day, it's held me accountable to tracking things that are important to me. I feel like I've always tried to use a pre-made fitness planner or health planner, and there was always at least one category of something that I didn't like, something that I didn't actually want to track, and so then I would just stop using it. And so because I was able to make this one custom to what I want it to be, it's something that I actually want to use every single day. And I just put it right into my morning routine to fill it out for the day before every single morning, and it just lets me see my week at a snapshot. And then one of the things I've been doing at the end of the week is going back in and highlighting all of the wins every time I hit one of my goals, whether it was like a fitness goal, like I did my workout, or I hit my calorie goal for the day, or I hit my protein goal, I drank all my water. Anytime it was like I did it, I highlighted it, and it's so cool to see all of the accomplishments throughout the entire week. It's so easy to get hung up on like one day didn't go well, I got off plan, or I didn't work out or whatnot. And being able to see all the highlight in my week at a whole just makes such a difference. Okay, the next category is pampering, and I don't have a specific product to talk about this quarter. I did get a bunch of new skincare recently, and so maybe next quarter I'll be able to share some of that if I decide that I love it. But what I want to talk about in this category is getting ready every single day. This quarter, I finally started actually getting ready for the day every day, regardless of who was gonna see me, regardless of how many Zoom calls, regardless of if I was filming. And I don't always do a full face of makeup, and I don't always do my hair, but I at least make sure that I feel presentable. Like, if somebody just showed up at our apartment, like, do I feel like myself? And part of that is hair and makeup, and then part of that is also clothes. So I hate to say it, but I have been putting on a bra every day because I just feel like I'm more prepared for the day if I always have a bra on. I also have been making sure that I put on something slightly more than sweatpants. So I feel like now I have like 3 categories of pants, right? There's like the workout leggings, And then there's like the I'm lounging around in the house pants. And then I have this middle category that's like either really stretchy leggings so that they're leggings but they're still comfortable, or they're slightly more structured sweatpants. And those are what I try to wear every day so that I'm still comfortable and taking advantage of working from home, but I still feel much more put together than if I were to wear my like really loungy pants or wear, I'm not obviously putting on my workout leggings and sitting in them all day. So a year ago, I was only wearing the comfy pants, and I even bought more pairs of the comfy pants because I was like, oh, I'm working from home, I'm gonna wear these comfy pants. But at the end of the day, I think I know that I'm more productive when I get myself ready for the day. Okay, the next category is cleaning, and usually I talk about something household related, but this quarter I'm going to talk about digital cleaning, and that is an app that one of you recommended regarding going through all of your photos on your phone that has totally changed my life. 1000% to change my life. The app is called Get Sorted, and what it does is it takes all of the photos on your phone and it breaks them, it lumps them into each month and each year. That part's really not important. And then it has you set a daily goal. And you can set it anywhere from 25 photos to like 100 photos. I have mine set at 100 photos. I started at 25, by the way. I started at the lowest number and I did that consistently for a week, and then I upped it, and now I'm doing 100 photos a day. And then so each day as part of my morning routine, I go into the app and it pops up a photo wherever I left off from the day before, and I can either swipe up to delete it or I swipe down to keep it. Now, a lot of my photos are like old planner photos that I've taken, and I took like 1 million of the same photo. So most of them I'm removing, and then sometimes I'll get to pictures of like me and Sam that I actually want to keep, and I save those, and you can see the ones right next to each other. So if you have multiple of the same shot, you can pick which one is the best and keep that one and delete the rest. And you basically just go through it for 100 photos. For me, 100 photos takes me like, I don't know, maybe 3 minutes. But again, a lot of them are like not really decisions because it's like 1 million planners that I'm just deleting. And then once I get to my 100, that's it. And I did it for the day. And then it also tracks and shows me how far along I am. I've mentioned this before, but I have like tens of thousands of photos on my phone. So I'm only like 2%. I've been doing this for a month and I'm only like 2% into my photos, but I finally feel like I'm making progress. And that's what's important. When I tried to do this on my own without the app, I would just get overwhelmed, and I was like, this is too hard and I don't want to, it's just too much work. The app has made it so simple, and it's also gamified, like you get awards for doing stuff. That part isn't motivating me as much as just seeing that I'm actually making progress, and it's in a very easy and simple way. All right, the next category is doing, and I saved this category for a habit that I have implemented within the last quarter that's making a difference for me. And the one I want to talk about this quarter is my communication routine. So you already know I love my Routinery app. I talked about that in one of last year's quarterly favorites, and I use that for my morning routine and my evening routine. Well, I started implementing a daily communication routine, at least Monday through Friday, I do it. And so I have it set from 5 to 6 p.m. every day. It doesn't always take me a whole hour, but at 5 p.m. I transition myself to the bed where it's comfortable, and I do all of my social media communications. So I respond to my Patreon texts, I respond to Facebook comments, Instagram messages, Instagram comments, YouTube comments, etc. And I go through all of the steps of communication. And one of the reasons I think it's made such a difference is I don't feel obligated to respond to those things as they come up during the day. It's not that I don't look at Instagram all day until this time, but I just won't respond to the messages. I'll see the messages pop up, and I know at 5 o'clock I have time scheduled, and I will respond to all the messages then. And then because I'm doing it at a set time, I'm much more thoughtful in my responses, and I can really take my time instead of just like, oh, there's a message, oh, let me give it a heart and move on. And I think it's just made such a difference in the connections that I'm making in texts and comments and messages. And I don't know, it's just really helped me a lot. So if you're a content creator and you feel like you have all these messages, or even do it with your normal text messages. Say you're not going to respond to texts until at 5 p.m. after work, and then check all of your social media and respond to all your texts and do all those things. I also try to do a sweep of my emails at this point and delete the ones that can be deleted, and the ones that need to be responded to, like at a computer, I save for a later time, but I try to just do a quick sweep of my emails as well. And then this is also where I put on my blue light glasses. So the first step of my communication routine is put on your blue light glasses and then get responding. And then the last category is loving, and this is just a catch-all for something that I've loved for the last few months that didn't really fall into any of the other categories, and that is my lap desk. So for Christmas, Sam got me this lap desk. I think he got it because when we were at my parents', I was spending a lot of time sitting on the couch, and I would bring my laptop with me at, like, after dinner, and we would sit on the couch and watch something, and I would work on my laptop on the couch. And so when he got it for me, it was perfect for that, like sitting on the couch working with my parents. But now it's perfect for working in the bed or on the couch. We do have a coffee table, so I can do that. And I don't work as much on the couch because that's where Sam works. Maybe once we move into our new apartment and I actually, like, the living room's actually a living room and not Sam's office, that'll be a little bit different. But I do love using it on the bed. So if there's any day that I just want to sit on the bed, especially the weekend I was injured with my shoulder, I can sit on the bed and have my laptop. It's got a built-in mouse, and it just, I don't know, it makes things so much easier. It makes working on my laptop in other places easier because I much prefer to work with a mouse and have my laptop kind of settled that way instead of sitting on my legs. All right, that's it. Those are all the things that I've been loving this quarter. I hope that this was valuable and that you got an idea of something that you could maybe implement into your life that would make things a little bit easier, make achieving your goals a little bit simpler. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything that you have been absolutely loving the last couple of months, whether it's a book, a playlist, a TV show. Let us know down in the comments so that we can check it out together. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. And musics. The musics? And why can't I say this phrase? You watch my favorites. This is the favorites video. Netflix? Did I just say that right? I mean, hey. I just, some kind of nut butter, plucked it right into my, plucked it?